Ladies and gents, that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Disabled person, a lot of times we feel like it's just us. And I recognize, even through my bone cancer journey and receiving an amputation, that it was time to join the community around me. So I started to dive into sports, adaptive sports, Paralympic development. So that's how I got into para archery. You know the lens that you have in yourself on your own value. How am I going to be productive? How am I going to leave a mark or do an impact in your community? You're going to have to decide that even in showing up, you're celebrating your wins, but also acknowledging and being accountable for the times that you did not do what you needed to do, but it's never a loss, it's a learn. And so actually helps us to focus on that, focus on ourselves and focus on our actions. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
By giving unconditionally, not expecting anything in return, I thought it was a wonderful way of showing this love, and I believe that it is love that truly draws people, and so I thought we could cover a lot more people by feeding. Volunteers, you know, they have truly been sold.
My passion is to help, and I thank God for what I can do through the help of Bahamas Feeding Network.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that wraps up the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
There's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight that's on your screen, coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First at 11. The economy showing signs of slower growth. The cause? We look to the Governor General of the Central Bank amidst its latest report to find out why. Also, not everyone is celebrating a group of healthcare professionals from Ghana filling gaps in the healthcare sector. Today, the nurses demonstrating over long-standing issues. And a milestone for the Ranfley Home, which has provided a safe environment for children of this country for the past 70 years. The Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Royson Jones, and this is the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Welcome to the broadcast. We begin tonight with economic news. The central bank's first quarter results are in. In this report, our Daniel Dean takes a look at what external factors have led to the economy expanding at a slower pace.
According to Central Bank Governor John Roll, though private sector credit expanded at a faster pace, the seasonal growth in bank liquidity and external reserves tapered when compared to the same period last year.
External reserves grew by about $171 million over the first quarter of 2025. And as at the end of April, we're approaching $2.8 billion, which is moderately less than the estimated $2.9 billion at this point last year. In the fiscal sector, consolidation trends are expected to continue despite the increased trade policy uncertainties, given sustained reforms by the government to broaden the revenue base, such as towards cruise tourism and the domestic minimum corporate tax.
Tourism numbers aren't where they should be, he added, noting a decrease in stopover tourists.
The Bahamas could also experience slowing from weakened U.S. consumer confidence and its potential pass-through to lower travel demand. In addition, the inflation outlook for the Bahamas is potentially elevated. Reduced air traffic is estimated to have impeded hotel sector performance most, as vacation rental sales, which are an important segment of the stopover market, experienced further expansion, and such activities attracted incrementally appreciated average daily rental rates.
Roll noted tariffs imposed by the United States are admittedly taking a toll on the economy.
The downside risk facing the economy have increased, particularly in light of the tariffs imposed by the United States and uncertainty over how trade policy tensions between the U.S. and its major trading partners will be resolved. Nevertheless, the likely magnitude of trade policy uncertainty on potential outcomes for the Bahamas still do not justify any precautionary response by the central bank in terms of either monetary policy or prudential measures in regards to the banking sector.
Reporting from the Central Bank of the Bahamas for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Thanks, Danielle. Well, the red carpet was rolled out to welcome the newest healthcare professional hirees. Truth is, not everyone celebrated the occasion. Corval Pyfram explains.
The three-day orientation where this group of new hirees, 14 physicians and 53 nurses, a mix of Bahamian and Ghanaian nationals all attended, was officially opened by Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville Monday, who delighted in welcoming the new healthcare workers, while nearby, other nurses were feeling left out.
I am tired of it. I am sick and I am tired of it.
As this comprehensive orientation session was getting underway inside, a group of Bahamian nurses gathered outside protesting, claiming that they were being treated unfairly. It's an issue Dr. Darville spoke to before leaving. This group of 8 Department of Public Health nurses, all 2023 graduates, are still awaiting their appointments. Their lives, they say, are in limbo. Bahamas Nursing Union President Muriel Lightbourne calls it shameful that personnel are brought in from as far as Ghana, unable to be processed, while Bahamians are left on the sidelines.
The word of God tells us that if a man does not take care of his own children, he is worse than an infidel. An infidel is an unbeliever. So are you telling me that you don't believe in your people?
Her frustration only amplified by 31-year-old nursing graduate Irvine Young. She's a single mom who's been waiting to be regularized since 2023. This feels, she says, like a slap in the face.
You working every day, 40 hours. Come on. Please, don't forget about us. We are here. We are here. They're saying the nurses leaving. We here. We graduated in 2023. We didn't go abroad.
Dr. Darville, while sympathetic to these nurses, blames the delay largely on the vetting process, which he says is out of his hands.
So I assure the nurses who graduate in 2023, who are part of the orientation program upstairs, and those in 2024, that we will continue to push forward to expedite the process to make sure that this process doesn't take this long. Because the Ministry of Health always seems to get the bad end of the stick as a result of a process that is responsible for public service.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfram.
Meantime, Nurses Union President Muriel Lightbourne today bristling at questions about her alleged firing as Bahamas Nurses Union President. Lightbourne insisting she remains head of the BNU and intends to stay in place until her members decide otherwise.
Aye, that's a good part. Who will fire me? Who will fire me? I will be fired in January 19th, 2026, if the nurses go to the polls and say they do not want Miss Lightbourne. The misunderstanding about is just some persons who can't take losses. You're bitter. After 2 years, you still bitter? Come on. I don't worry about that.
There are reported issues within the Bahamas Nurses Union. 2 senior officials were recently placed on suspension. Lightbourne argues those suspensions were mandated by the union's constitution. Senator meeting to debate the mining bill this morning. The proposed legislation is expected to ensure the country's natural resources are properly monitored and protected while enhancing transparency in line with international best practices. The bill also comes amid high mining activity in the country in terms of sand, gravel, and crushed stone, commonly used in the construction industry. Leading off the debate, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder, who, among things, noted that a Department of Mining will be established. That department will be responsible for maintaining a register of all persons holding mining licenses and permits issued by the department.
This is a very important point because we frequently hear from the Bahamian public that there's mining activities going on throughout the country, in certain instances primarily sand mining, and questions on the transparency. Do they hold the license? Are they in the area in which they hold their license? Are they allowed to conduct the scale of activities that they're doing? And there's no transparency under the current regime that will allow an interested party to be able to make these inquiries and get an answer.
Other key components of the bill: increased revenue generation and more public-private opportunities for stakeholders. Proper assessments of the mining operations also tied into the legislation in order to protect the environment and promote sustainability of the sector. However, opposition business leader in the upper chamber, Senator the Honourable Darren Henfield, raised this concern.
If you look at this act, and I took my time and went through it today, and I marked every place where someone has to say the minister responsible. And I got tired marking the spots. I really, you got to see the minister about a license. You got to see the minister about this. You got to see the minister about that. There are other practices in the world that we could have engaged, rather than obligating unto itself the cabinet, or through the Kaltona principle, some official in the government who has a responsibility to the minister to have oversight. And to hear the word oversight mentioned in the same sentence as the government is almost laughable to me.
This just in from police. Officers are investigating a shooting in the area of Peter Street. Authorities say the male victim is alive and is receiving medical attention from emergency medical personnel and will be transported to hospital. This is a developing story we will continue to follow. Also under investigation, an overnight shooting that's left a young man wounded. The incident reportedly playing out after 10 last night off East Street. ShotSpotter technology alerted police to gunfire on Lily of the Valley corner. Police tell us 2 people were outside a home in that area when a silver Japanese monocle vehicle stopped nearby. Police report that 2 gunmen exited the vehicle and opened fire before fleeing the scene. A 21-year-old was wounded in the process. At last report, he was in serious but stable condition in hospital. In other news, Cyril Salto is making quite a name for himself here in the Bahamas. From all reports, he escaped lawful custody just after 6 Sunday morning while receiving medical care at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Soon after learning of Salto's escape, though, the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services dispatched a search team. It was not long after corrections officers captured the escapee at his last known residence. He was promptly returned to the Fox Hill compound. Salto was serving time for overstaying and attempting to escape from lawful custody. He faced a fine of $2,500 or 6 months in prison on 1 count and 6 months in prison on 2 other counts. On the same day, BDOCS also received a remand warrant from Court Number 5 for 2 counts of armed robbery. The matter has been turned over to police for further action. Meantime, the prison has initiated its own investigation into the circumstances surrounding the inmate's escape. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country, pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Hello everyone, this is Tony Williams back with a special promotion for BahamasAir.com and GoGo Florida. The $100 deposit is back, but it's only on your debit card. So whether you're renting that sedan, SUV, or spacious minivan for group or family trips, keep your cash in your pocket. Only Dollar Thrifty is making it convenient for you. Your $100 deposit held on your debit card. Available at Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Orlando. Book now and save big all summer long.
Authentic history of the Bahamas captured by 12 distinguished writers. Join us for the official launch of the new modernized Bahamian History High School textbook, which encapsulates the journey from whence we came to the modern Bahamas. Tune into this channel for the launch that promises to be educational, entertaining, and transformative as we celebrate our rich history pre- and post-independence.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
Housing and Urban Renewal Minister, the Honorable Keith Bell, is taking stock of the International Monetary Fund's recent report on housing affordability and accessibility in the Bahamas. The report released early this month notes that population growth in the Bahamas has created a significant housing shortage. It also points out that stock and affordability of new housing has not kept pace due to limited wage growth and financing constraints. The housing minister says the report's findings were not surprising. He went further to attribute the challenge to long existing policies that have hindered home ownership.
There are a number of things to take away from that report. They're quite correct and accurate in respect of the fact that the population has outpaced the number of homes that we've built. But in addition to that, policies at times have also hampered our ability to build homes. For this Davis administration, we have adopted a very aggressive agenda to build homes, not just in the province, but for our family islands. And you'd have seen that our actions speak louder than our words.
It's a special milestone for the Ranfley Homes for Children, celebrating 70 years of providing a safe environment for children who have been orphaned, abused, neglected, and/or abandoned. The home recently held a special ceremony to mark the occasion, and our Corvell Pyfram was there.
Kelvin Mason is an 18-year-old star student at St. Anne's High School. For the past 5 years, he's also been a resident of the Ranfley Homes for Children.
My journey as Kelvin Mason from the Ranfley home to where I stand today has not been without its challenges. However, it has taught me invaluable lessons about resilience, community, and the power of individual determination.
The homes are celebrating 70 years of providing comprehensive care for displaced children who come there as a result of any number of unfortunate circumstances. Since its founding back in 1955, the homes have cared for thousands of children, and President Joey Premok says that commitment is unwavering.
As we look ahead to the future, we remain focused on our mission to provide a loving and supportive environment where children can heal, learn, and grow to the leaders of tomorrow.
As Ranfley marks 70 years, Prime Minister Philip Davis joined them to offer his gratitude to those who work to ensure our children have a safe environment.
Despite the negativity that may appear in the news and in our social media feeds, there are still people devoted to carrying out good works and taking care of the most vulnerable amongst us.
And he had this message for the home's residents.
We love you. We care about you. And we are ready to help you realize your dreams. Keep thriving. Remember that success doesn't care about your background or where you started. Stay committed to doing the hard work, making the right choices, and associating with the right people. And I can assure you that positive results will be inevitable.
Kelvin, like the other 23 current residents of the home, has not had an easy journey. But as this honor student, star athlete, and youth leader is demonstrating, nothing can break his spirit or his gratitude to this home.
It has shown me that while circumstances may shape us, they do not have to limit us.
For the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now, I'm Corvell Pyfram.
Thanks, Corvell. The students of Aaron H. Gilmore School for the Blind and Visually Impaired had their moment in the sun Friday as the boys and girls were awarded for their stellar academic performances. During a special ceremony, students received awards for Most Improved, Making the Honor Roll, Principal's List, and excelling in various subjects. Principal Kevin Cartwright, who made history recently by becoming the first blind person to head a school, used the words of former President of South Africa, the late Nelson Mandela, to remind his students of the powerful tool education gives them.
Here at our school, we see that truth come alive every day. To our students, you are the heartbeat of this institution. You are the heartbeat of our school. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Permanent Secretary to the Governor General and career educator Jack Thompson likened their students' journey to building a house, saying although it can be difficult and they may often want to give up, they should always keep trying.
I know
that sometimes in building a house, you get tired. There are distractions. But in the midst of those distractions, can I give you the words of Nehemiah 6:3? I am doing a great work, and I cannot come down.
The University of the Bahamas is honoring the 60th anniversary of Black Tuesday with a commemorative exhibition at the Keva M. Bethel building. Our West Calix Forbes has the story.
Black Tuesday, April 27, 1965, is remembered for the dramatic act when the opposition leader, Sir Lyndon Pindling, threw the Speaker's mace through the window of the House of Assembly. This symbolic protest, joined by Sir Milo Butler, discarding the parliamentary hourglass, representing a bold change to an unjust political system, and ignited momentum towards greater political rights for the majority of the Bahamians.
Well, we just launched the commemorative 60th anniversary of Black Tuesday exhibition, and it's going to be up until at least, we hope, May 12th. And it's an amazing event because we have here video footage with Sir Lyndon Oscar Pindling being interviewed about his role in Black Tuesday. We have 10 panels that have been mounted with the generous assistance from AMMC and also archives, and the Ministry of Education has also supported this. By Wednesday, we're actually going to have a replica mace that is going to be installed here, and the hourglass replica as well.
This is important for us because it's perspective, but it's also a means by which we can connect with the past. And that's quite important for us as a country because it builds a national identity and it allows people to begin to understand and appreciate the importance of every single Bahamian citizen.
As the nation commemorates the 60th anniversary of the historic milestone, the spirit of Black Tuesday remains alive, serving as both a tribute to the pioneers of social change and a reminder for the ongoing responsibility to uphold justice and equality for all.
Well, it's part of a political awakening that occurred in the Bahamas. It's a seminal moment. It's part of the Quiet Revolution that started with the Burma Road Riot and culminated with majority rule in 67 and then independence in 73.
Visitors are encouraged to explore the exhibition and reflect on the strides made since the defying day of 1965, acknowledging the courage of those who challenged the status quo and paved the way for a more equitable Bahamas. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Wes Calix Forbes.
Thank you, Wes. Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Amajal?
Silent Partner taking the A-Class title at this year's National Family Island Regatta. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Your home is your sanctuary. The last thing you need to worry about is rodents.
Once they enter your property, they can be tough to get out. If you're concerned about rodents, call Rent-A-Kill Initial. We offer the latest, most effective treatment for safe, fast, and long-lasting results. From prevention to elimination, our integrated approach guarantees protection. For rodent control you can trust, there's only one name in the Bahamas. Rent-A-Kill Initial.
Congratulations to the Bahamian Carifta track and field and swim teams from the sponsors of the ZNS Radio and TV Carifta Update.
Welcome to your Monday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports after 3 days of sailing action wrapping up at the National Family Island Regatta over in Georgetown, Exuma, with the official closing ceremony taking place last night at the Elizabeth Harbor. Look at the final results. The winner of the E-Class, that would go to the Lady Anne Marie, skippered by David Knowles out of Long Island. C-Class winner, H2O, skippered by Effort Kemp out of Exuma. B-Class title will go to the Lonesome Dove, skippered by Jeff Gale out of Abaco. And finally, over to the big boys, that shining trophy will remain in Exuma. A Silent Partner, skippered by Leslie Buzzy Roll, would take the top spot in the A-Class division. Also at last night's closing festivities was the nation's chief, Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis.
The spirit of competition, the spirit of community and celebration has truly come alive in Georgetown. I must extend my heartfelt appreciation to our dedicated Regatta Committee, our tireless volunteers, and the Exuma community, as well as our generous supporters. And of course, your Commodore, Dallas Knowles, was continuing to do a great job. Your commitment has resulted in a truly extraordinary event. You know, in the Bahamas, a regatta is much more than a race. It is a celebration of our history. It is a celebration of our heritage. And it is a celebration where the authentic connection to the sea is expressed.
Back here in the capital this weekend, the final night of the Bahamas Basketball Federation's round-robin national championships taking place Saturday. As for who took home bragging rights in Divisions 1 and 2, find out in this report.
The thing is, you see these players every year. You know, there's a lot of skilled guys on these family islands, and we're expecting a good punch.
3 games on deck Saturday night at the Kendall's U. Isaacs Gymnasium as the Bahamas Basketball Federation's round-robin nationals wrapping up. First game on deck, the Division II consolation matchup between the Harbor Island Panthers and North and Central Antec Saints. The Panthers would lead after 1 quarter of play and continue to build on that. The story of this one, the Panthers would completely dominate the game on the interior, seemingly getting any shot they wanted inside, scoring 76 points in the paint, paced by 27 points from Jeremy Davis and 22 from Christopher Grant. The Panthers would cruise to the consolation bracket win, 105-71. Game 2, the Division II championship game, your Central Store Giants taking on the Net Riders out of Abaco. To the tape, the Giants taking the Net Riders to task early on, getting out to a 6-point lead after 1 quarter of play. For the Giants, it would be their big three of Javon Adderley, Kirkling Farrington, and Matthew Saunders, who would pour in 21, 22, and 21 respectively to help them build a lead as big as 30. That deficit would be a bit too much for the Riders to surmount. They would cruise, that being the Giants, to a 94-75 win to secure their D2 round-robin title. And in the nightcap, this one was a game for the ages. The Nassau versus Freeport rivalry renewed as the perennial power of the Commonwealth Bank Giants would take on the Dudley Boys Saints out of Grand Bahama. Early on, this one would swing in favor of the Saints as they would get out to a 20-point lead early in the first half before the Giants would manage to cut that lead to 14 just at the end of the half. After 3, that lead would all but disappear, clinging to a 1-point lead after 3. Teams would exchange the lead multiple times in the fourth before these clutch free throws from Dashton Baker would give the Giants the 83-80 win and Division I round-robin national championship. Still on hopes, Buddy Hield with a big performance over the weekend for the Golden State Warriors in their opening round series against the Houston Rockets. Hield's 8-point individual surge was a part of the Warriors' Game 3 resurgence. They went down from being down 12 to being down 3 at halftime, and Hield was a major reason for it, finishing with 17 points in his most important performance of his first season with the Warriors. but he was a plus 14 in his 21 minutes of game time. Warriors going on to beat the Rockets 104-93 without Jimmy Butler, and are currently up 2-1 in that series.
Robin was out tonight, so I had to step up. that was it. I had to be an Alfred tonight. I know Jimmy's out. And just knows at stake. You don't want to go down 2-1 in the series, especially at home in first playoff game here. Want to make an impression and match the physicality and just come out and make shots. No real lacking making shots, and just trying to be a spark plug for this team and do all the right things I can be and be efficient as I can. And then possession by possession, just learning. The intensity is fun, it's great, especially being out there with great players like Steph and Draymond and the coaching staff helping me. But you just got to enjoy the moment, seize the moment, and you can't be shy. When opportunity comes, you got to be out there and aspire it and be free.
And that's when we look at your sports on this Monday. A check on weather when we return.
Congratulations to the Bahamian Carifta track and field and swim teams from the sponsors of the ZNS Radio and TV Carifta Update.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
It's time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Royston. As we look at our live weather radar, you can see some showers to the north of us. That's associated with what we call a backdoor front that is heading our way, and that will usher in some clouds and some showers tomorrow morning. And what do we mean by backdoor front? Well, it's simply cool air flowing from the northeast. Typically, it flows from the northwest, but in this circumstance, and particularly this time of the year, we have the cool waters of the Atlantic, and that northeasterly winds flowing around that high-pressure system to the north of us will bring in those showers activities, along with some decrease in our temperatures over the next couple of days. So some nice, beautiful temperatures shaping up for you over the next few days. Around the island, 74 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Turkey, also in Marsh, Ababaco, in the Berry Islands, 76. 78 in Allenstown, Bimini, 75 over in Harbury Island, Roxanne, Lutra, Otterstown, Cat Island, 74 degrees. Black Point, Exuma at 75. In Camp Space, St. Andros, Fresh Creek, Central Andros, also 75 degrees. Taking into Georgetown, Exuma, 76 degrees there. Rumkey and San Salvador at 74 degrees. You get a little warmer as we go into the Ragged Island chain, 77 degrees there. Clarence Sound, Long Island, and Crooked Island at 77. Betsy Bay, Maguana, and Acklands reporting 76. A bit warm in Machitani, Nagua at 80 degrees. And the Turks and Caicos Islands also reporting 80 degrees. And our starlight picture, once again, showing the cloud associated with that backdoor front approaching the Abacos, and that will bring in that cloud later on tonight during the early morning hours, and we'll see some of that reaching the capital during the mid-morning hours tomorrow as well. And your forecast tonight, breezy this evening, otherwise partly cloudy with a low temperature around 73 degrees. And then tomorrow, it's going to be showers in the morning, otherwise partly sunny and breezy again with a high temperature at 80 degrees. Now, your extended weather forecast, look at it. Those nighttime temperatures, they're going to be very, very comfortable. We're looking at low 70s right through the 7-day cycle, and that's as a result of that front that's moving into the area. Daytime temperatures, not too bad. They will reside in the low 80s up until we get into the weekend, like Saturday. Those temperatures will start spiking, getting up to about 85 degrees, and that will continue right into Sunday. But then come Monday, we see some showers work its way back into the forecast, and that will drop your temperatures a couple of degrees again. Bryson.
I know the farmers need the rain, but long may this beautiful weather continue. Thanks, Basil. Well, that's going to do it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and good night.
At Tonic Williams Darden Highway, I'm Tajaro Hudson. This is ZNS.
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah. I'm fine. I'm sorry. I'm going to a job interview. I'm a lawyer. At least I used to be one.